Hi everyone, this is Rion Paper. In today's video, I wanted to do a monthly recap of the month of March. It is currently March 27th, it's Wednesday, so we've still got a couple days left of March, but I wanted to film this video today. So yeah, let's see how this month has been in my planners and what I've been up to. And let's start with the A5 Common Planner, which is sort of my main hub, the most important pillar of my planner system. As you can see, I only have two planners here with me today. The media journal planner notebook log has made its way out of my lineup, as I explained to you in the last planner recap, the one we did for February. However, I've now implemented what I was doing there in my other planners. So nothing's really lost, except I now have a little less space to fill, which has been great actually. So let's see. So for this one, this is the quarterly overview. And at the beginning of January, when I was just filling this out, I was like, I'm not sure if I like this, if it's going to be helpful, if it's even going to look good. I'm just coloring in some boxes and, making some dots, drawing some lines. And we'll just have to wait for 3 months to see what this is actually gonna look like once it's finished. And it's crazy to think that still feels like almost yesterday, but apparently we're 3 months in the year now, and this spread, these 2 pages are almost completely full. I think I will keep on doing this for the next quarter. I'm actually liking this quite a bit so far. I've changed up my sort of the habits that I'm tracking a little bit, but for the most part, it's still the things that I want to keep on tracking. For some of the habits, like for example, you can see that in terms of language study, I did terribly this month. I'm not gonna lie about that. The only thing that I did every day was just a little bit of Duolingo to keep my streak going. But admittedly, that's not the thing where I learn the most, which is why, like for February, I started separating my daily Duolingo from actually sitting down with a grammar book and working my way through that. But yeah, like I explained in, I think it was last week's video, where I was talking about how I'm more of a generalist, and like in general, I just want to do too many different things. So I just have to accept that I can't get as much time into language studying as someone for who language study is sort of their main thing they do, the main thing they spend their free time on, because I like other things as well. And, I don't have that much time in a day. However, this data is still important to me. And it's still good to see that for this month, I haven't really done anything except for a bit of Duolingo. So maybe for next month, I want to focus a bit more on my language studies and actually open my Japanese grammar book again, because it's not that I don't like it. Actually, when I actually sit down and do the thing, I enjoy it a lot. But it's just always a bit of a threshold, especially after like a long day when you have sort of limited mental energy left, and you just want to watch TV. But on the other hand, that is sort of the only time of the day that I have to do that. So sometimes it's just nice to, muster up the motivation to actually sit down, do the thing, and then actually feel really good afterwards. So let's see. Yeah. So the only thing I'm not really sure about is tracking my sleep and focus hours. As of now, I'm not really using the data that I'm collecting here, and I don't really know what I want to do with it. It might be good to sort of do something of a quarterly reflection and actually maybe this weekend take a moment to look back and see is there anything that I can improve on? Because obviously there's days where I barely get any sleep, or like, well, it's not that bad at all, but sometimes I get like 5.5 hours of sleep, which I think like is not really what I'm going for. But usually it has like a very sort of clear and more or less unavoidable reason. For example, I have to wake up really early, but I just can't really fall asleep. Or maybe I just like have to work on a deadline, but have to get up early the day after, and it's like it just happens, and you know, I'll sleep an hour longer the next day. So like I don't really use this data to improve upon. So that's why I kind of want to think about, do I want to keep tracking it if I'm not really using it? Although I do think it looks pretty, if that counts for something. I like a pretty graph. I won't lie about that. But maybe there's some other things that I could track for like the next quarter. This is a good point to reflect on that, because it's nice to have more or less the same data for the entire quarter on one page, because that makes for more of an easy comparison. Next, we have the monthly pages. So for the monthly, I actually did the decorating of this page in a video, and I have added some things here and there during the month, but usually what I'll do is I set up the page at the beginning of the month or just before the beginning of the month, and I fill in what I know about like appointments that I have, but I don't always go back and add appointments, especially if they are like on the day itself, or maybe the day, like if today I make an appointment for tomorrow, like let's say I have to go somewhere tomorrow, then I don't always go back and add it to the monthly calendar, because this is more of my reference for the entire month, where if I'm planning for next week, I take a look at like what are the appointments that I already know that I have, so that I'm not forgetting anything and I'm making like a good realistic planning for the week. So I don't always go back and add things as they come up. I do if they are a bit like further away, so that I don't forget them. Like usually if it's in the same week, I'll just write them on the weekly spread, because that's where I'm in most of the days. So yeah, that was this month. I have already done a bit of decoration. Well, I actually went quite overboard with the stickers, but you know, I was just like happily sticking things onto the page. And at some point I was like, maybe I should leave some room for, you know, actual important information. I haven't filled in next month yet. I still have to do that, but I did decorate it. For this, I combined two of my favorite rolls of washi tape. One is more like flower focused. The other is more like vegetable gardening focused, but they make for a good pair. They are both designed by, I think it's Tonia Kwach. I'm sorry if I butchered her name. I don't actually know how to pronounce it, but she released them through the washi tape shop, which is where I got these from. I also have a code for the washi tape shop in case you wanted to place an order there and get 10% off. You can do so by using the code RuonPaper10. However, I'm not actually sure if these designs are still available. I think I got them more than a year ago. And then we have the weekly pages, which is actually the thing that I'm most excited about telling you today. Let's see, at the beginning of March started somewhere here, I was using the weeklies like this. Well, this is probably not a good example. Let's take this one. At the top, I use the sort of top row to note things that are specific to that day, that I know, like at the beginning of the week, I fill this out and know, like, you know, I have to water the plants on Monday and I want to release a video on Friday. And sometimes there's other appointments and stuff in here as well. And then I make a to-do list for every day. And I usually do this in the morning for the day that's still ahead of me, or I do this the evening before that, just before going to bed. I just fill this in. And I usually sort of make little sections just to, like, it doesn't really mean anything. It's not like a coffee break or a lunch break. It's just sort of to break up the list and make it easier to see what's going on. But what I was realizing was that I was sort of missing a place to write things down that I wanted to get done during the week, but I didn't really know when I was going to do it. I have sometimes done that, like in the left side column, which works, but sometimes it's quite a big list because I like to note all of the subtasks as well, so that I can sort of see what my progress is on a bigger task or a bigger project. So I was sort of thinking, like, how do I want to do this? Do I want to do it at the bottom? But like, how do I know how much space to leave for specific days? And another thing that I was noting was that sometimes a task would end up on like 5 days because I just kept not having time for it, or not making time for it, not making it a priority, and then just sort of postponing it throughout the week. And then at some point I was like, I really don't want to write this down in the next week as well, so I have to do everything on Sunday now. So what I did in this week, I did a little experiment, and I still wrote day-specific things at the top, but then the rest of the page I completely skipped like the daily to-do lists, and I made a little section for weekly goals. Didn't do that great, by the way, but that's not the point. I made a section for days that I found myself writing on every single day of the week. So I was like, I might as well just make sort of a big tracker for all of these things with 7 days of the week, and then like things that I want to do in the morning, at the end of the afternoon, and somewhere after dinner. Then I have some things, like some different categories, different projects that I'm working on, but also like house and garden and just, random stuff. And I just listed all of the things that I wanted to get done for these specific projects, areas of life, etc. And then during the week, I would come in and take a look. Okay, I have 2 hours now. What do I want to get done? What can I get done? And what do I want to work on? The difficulty I had with this, the thing that I'm still kind of thinking about, is how do I know if it's realistic to get all of this done in 1 week? Because I like it when the plans I make for the week are actually, like, it's possible to accomplish them. It's possible to check off all of the tasks that are in there. I feel really demotivated if I know beforehand that it is way too much, that it cannot get done. Obviously, sometimes it doesn't get done completely, and that's fine, but I do want it to be realistic in that it can be done. So I was thinking, like, how do I know if this is actually like a realistic amount of stuff to do in 1 week? So that is still something that I'm thinking about. I don't have the answer yet. But what I do like about this is that I don't have to think too much on what I'm going to do when. I can sort of look at just the next couple hours and realize, okay, I have this much time. This is my current situation. Like, for example, my partner is like just about to start an online meeting. So it's not really a good time to start filming, because then we'll both be talking, which, I mean, obviously there's like a wall on the door like between us, but you can still hear that. It's still like really annoying to film when he's in a meeting, and probably for him doing the meeting is quite annoying when I'm filming. So I can just sort of see, like, okay, what can I get done right now? Also things that I have to do outside, in, like, for example, in the garden. I can just look at like the weather forecast for the next couple hours and be like, okay, maybe today is not the best day to do this. Whereas beforehand, I would just sort of plan everything out and then just stick with it, like, quite rigidly. So I am enjoying this. I am enjoying having all the tasks for specific projects like batched together on the page, even if I know that I'm not going to do them on that same day. Like, for example, for this Real on Paper video that I wanted to put out, I had a to-do list that had 7 steps, but I didn't do all these 7 tasks on the same day. And normally I would either write them down on the same day and just, write down again on the next day what I didn't get done, or I would sort of batch them in smaller groups, but then I would kind of lose the overview of what I was doing on the page. So this has been nice. And it's also what I'm doing for this week, where like the decoration is even simpler. I just did some headers and wrote down for specific things what I have to do. So that's sort of my weekly page experiment. I'm not entirely happy with it yet. Like I said, I could use some more structure, and especially knowing like, can I get all of this done during the week? And for example, if it's a Wednesday like today, how do I know if I'm on track, or if I have to schedule in some extra tasks, or just have some time left at the end of the week, which is that's perfectly fine. But when do I know if I'm maybe not going to get everything done, and how do I prioritize my tasks accordingly? So that's still something that I'm experimenting with, but I like the change and just the trying out new things. And maybe, in a couple weeks, I'll go back to how I did it before. That's also fine. For this planner, let's just take a little look at the daily pages. I didn't write a lot in the daily pages for March. I feel like I say that every month. Maybe I should just get a thinner common planner next year, because at this rate, I'm not going to fill it up. But that's fine. It's also an experiment, and I really am enjoying these daily pages. It's just that I don't write on them daily, and I don't write an entire page a day. I did a little February reflection, which was really nice. It was nice to just sort of start with a clean slate. I wrote an entire 2-page spread with the Jayabin Rouillé d'encre ink, which was also nice. And then this is the only other spread that I've written. I've written, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages over an entire month. That's a bit sad, isn't it? But I really like this spread. It just has these 2 stickers, and I used 4 of my pens and ink colors on this page. I mean, my currently inked has 5 pens, so I use almost everything here. And it just looks so nice. There's the yellow that is barely legible, so that's why I used it just to write the date down. There's the gorgeous Pilot Chicorin green fountain pen ink. That's the Robert Oster Romeo and Juliet blue ink, and then the pink one from Jayabin again. It just looks nice. I like it. And then, this is actually a bit of a spoiler for a little segment that I wanted to do at the end of the video, since I also got placed like a very small order with LondonGifties somewhere last month, I think. That came in earlier this month, and that I will show you at the end of this video. But yeah, here I did just some decoration for like the next spread, and I probably will write something on this page today. But I used some PET cuttings from a LondonGifties tape that I got, with some PET stickers that I think are from Stationery Pal, and then just some washi that I had. Looks really, really cozy, really comfy. It's giving kind of autumn vibes in my head, which doesn't really, fit the very sunny spring-like weather that we've been having, but it's all good. It's all good. I like autumn decoration the most, and I have a ton of it, and I have a ton of these like warm, earthy colors. And I feel like the season to use them is so short, because there's this kind of competition. Like this is very tangential, but like once September comes around, I want to use autumn decoration, like anything that has to do with like autumn leaves, coziness, blankets, pumpkins, spice, everything, the whole autumn experience. Then I also want to use Halloween decoration, which I feel is only fun to use like in October-ish. And I also really start like looking forward to Christmas. I want to use all my Christmas decorations. So like in these few months, there's like so many items and so many like different styles that I like to use. Whereas right now it's like I use cherry blossoms and that's about it. So yeah. Anyway, let's see. Let's take a quick look at this one. And there's not really that much to show you actually. This is the N1 Common Planner, the compact version. So it's like quite thin. And in here, I've been tracking my mood. And it's quite interesting to see. It really fluctuated a lot during January. It was actually like not too good it wasn't bad either. But in February, it had like quite a bit of sort of neutral or a bit lower days. And then in March, there was like a peak, then like a bit of a, let's call it a valley or something. I don't know. But then it sort of climbed up again and it sort of flatlined. But, it flatlined at a 4 out of 5. So, that's good. But I find this one really interesting to see, especially compared with this one. This is where I sort of color code my moods and write like a very, very short note about the day that sort of specifies why I felt that way or how exactly I felt. And I did this for last month as well. And as these colors were so intense, I decided to switch it up for this month. And I'll probably just pick a random color palette for each month. But I really like this. Like there's a lot of pink and green. And the pink and green in this particular color palette are like the best colors. It's like days where I just feel, relaxed and at peace and just not in a hurry, just feeling good. It can still be a productive day. It can still be a work day, although it's usually on the weekends. And then pink is like, I'm feeling motivated. I'm getting a lot done. I'm like having a lot of energy or feeling really excited about something that I'm going to do. And I've had that quite a lot for this month, which is something that I'm really happy about. I always see these days, like this category, as sort of my favorite days. The relaxed days are nice as well, but I really like being in that mindset in that sort of state of mind of getting a lot of things done and just feeling motivated and making progress. So yeah, that was really nice. The only thing that's like a thorn in my eye is this day where I used the wrong pen to write it down, and it's like super thick lines. But if that's the only thing, then we're good. Then let's see, where does March start here? I've been doing like the same thing in terms of decoration, just using pages from my tearaway calendar and just playing with the pieces of paper a bit. Here I got it up, used the specific elements on different parts of the page. I started picking Tombow jewel brush marker or zebra mild liner for each week that sort of fit the color palette to color in a square before every entry that's in here on the left hand page. So here I did the same, and on the left hand side we have appointments, just notes to myself, for example, like when my partner is very late from work and I don't have to cook dinner for him, because usually I'm the one cooking dinner because I'm at home most of the time. And then also other things like, new music releases, stuff like that. And then on the right-hand side is my media log, which is just everything that I'm watching, listening to, reading, given that I think of writing it down. Let's see, this month we finished the Legend of Korra, which was really nice. I really, really enjoyed the series. I was actually quite surprised at how much I enjoyed it because, I had such fond memories of the original Avatar: The Last Airbender series that I was a bit hesitant. I didn't know if Korra would be something that sort of negatively influenced my opinion of like the entire franchise, but that worry was completely unfounded because I absolutely loved it. I also finished the book, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. It was amazing. Without spoiling anything, I was smiling, I was crying. It was an emotional roller coaster, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. I loved it. Great book. My partner and I started watching like the new Avatar: The Last Airbender series on Netflix, and I don't know, I have a bit of like, I think there are just a little too many changes, like small plot changes or things like that are just different story-wise from the original series that I don't really think makes sense always. Like, I can see why they did it and that they had to condense it to make it more, suitable for a live action, but sometimes I think like I would have made a different choice at specific plot points. However, like the visuals and just like how the world looks and how like the bending of the elements looks, that is just amazing. It looks so good. So yeah, that it was definitely a fun watch. And then we also started watching Digimon Adventure, like the 2020 reboot of the series. I don't really know what my opinion is so far. Like, it's fun to watch. It's not incredible. I like how it's drawn. Like, it's obviously way more modern than the original series that came out in like, I don't even know when it was, like 90 something, like, I don't know, 7 or so. But yeah, I watched that as a kid, which is why I was curious about the reboot. We will probably finish it. I might love it at some point. I might just, think it's average. We'll see. I really like this picture somehow. It's just like, it's an airplane on a pretty dreary, big asphalt, and there's like these dreary airport buildings in the background. But somehow, I think it's a really nice color palette. It's like the cool gray with this strip of warm, like light brown, and then the teal color, like this steely blue, teal-ish color of the buildings. That's just a nice color palette. Which is why I like all of these photographs so much from the Tearaway calendar. It's just like they all have a very unique color palette. Here I kind of picked the wrong color Tombow jewel brush marker to go with the picture, and it looks like, I don't know, I used some kind of acid on the page. It looks really weird. This is your reminder to not pick color matches like at 11 p.m. when the only light you have on is a very, very warm yellow light and no color anywhere looks like it does in like broad daylight. I really like this picture as well. It's like, it's very fitting for the week, I think, because we just planted a new flower bed in our garden, and this is someone like planting seeds. We actually didn't plant the seeds. We like had entire plants that we put in the ground. And they are very, very tiny. Like right now, it looks a bit sad almost, but we've been reassured that in a couple weeks, they'll sort of explode into bigger plants. So we'll see about that. But I'm curious to, like, every day I go out into the garden and I look at the plants very closely. Like, are you growing yet? Are you doing fine? Do you look a bit dry? Is the soil maybe too wet? So yeah, they're sort of my little babies now. So that's the planners. And then for the last segment that I promised you, we have, let's see, actually, we have 4 items from LondonGifties. And I don't know, like LondonGifties products are so beautiful. They make me so happy. This is I don't know what this one's called actually. It's a washi tape that has a rainbow of colored pencils with some spots of some flecks of silver, like holographic foiling. And it's so nice. I hope you can see it. Does it focus? Come on, focus. Yeah, there we go. It looks so nice. And then we have this one. Oh, this is the one that I actually already used on one of the pages in my A5 common planner. And it's called the Plant Lovers Cozy Nooks. And it just has the most gorgeous designs. Like, they all have these very warm colors, and they all look like places where I just want to sit and read or play Animal Crossing or Pokemon, or just, sip on my coffee, like, for an entire day. Like, they look so comfortable. And I like how all of these share part of their aesthetic. Like, obviously they all have plants and they're all cozy and they all have a nice place to sit. But in terms of their colors and like how do I put this? In terms of the elements that go with that, like for example, the window and, what the light looks like that falls in through the window and how the bookcases look. And they still are quite like have different nuances. And like, for example, this one doesn't have any of the more reddish colors. And like, it looks very different immediately. And I love that. You can really pick what fits your current mood or current vibe. And the repeats are like really long. And then I got this one, the Warm Countryside Cabin. Very autumny, like not really for spring, but I saw this and like I knew that I had to have it. I love these sort of windows with the landscape outside. I love this one with the cat that is just like sleeping in this chair. It looks so comfortable. The little pumpkins, the doors. What I like about this a lot, obviously the squirrel and like the fireplace. But what I like about this one a lot is that it doesn't have all sort of the same scenes or the same perspective. There's like centerpieces, there's like animals, wildlife, but there's also like there's a door as seen from outside, but then there's the window that looks from the inside from indoors to the outside. That was just such a weird way of phrasing it, but you get what I mean, hopefully, maybe. It's just like, it's very nice to combine these elements because it doesn't feel like the repeating thing drawn in different ways. Like what's going on with the other one, with the Cozy Nooks. And then I have this one, and this one is called the Frost, Cold and Foggy Morning. And it has a very cute sheep. And like this is one of my favorites. It's this beautiful greenhouse that looks just like very foggy and with sort of the, what's it called, rime, I think, on the outside when it's like freezing. And then there's these beautiful landscapes and just a steaming hot cup of whatever. And there's like a nice house. And these have such a nice icy cold color palette. Ooh, and there's like a handsome guy over there, which I really like. Like a lot of stationery products in general have lots of girls on them, and that goes for LondonGifties products as well. She has like entire rolls with like nothing but beautiful women. However, as a guy, and I don't know if any of you watching are guys, like, do you have the same, where sometimes it's just nice to, like, no matter how beautifully drawn all of these women are, it's just also nice to like find a sticker that looks like just a little bit more like you. Like, not that I have what was it, like pinkish hair like the guy on the sticker, but you know, it's just nice to also have like some sticker with like boys or men as well. So I was really happy to have that sticker on there. I think that was it for this month's recap. I feel like I've just been rambling with absolutely no structure. Let me know if that was okay, or if you'd prefer these sort of monthly recaps to be a little shorter and a little bit more structured, scripted maybe. Anyway, I hope you had a great month of March. I hope that you are looking forward to April, and I also really hope that you take care of yourself, and I wish you all a great day. See you in the next one. Bye!